The first step that we're going to do with the demo part of the bottom rail repair would be level out the trailer. The reason we leveled the trailer out, everything's sitting nice and flat, and it makes all the repairs much easier. Then I'll go inside the back of the trailer. I'm going to release any moldings, E-track, anything that might be in there that is on over top of the liner. And then we'll pry the liner out with some tools that we have. Then we'll get a bunch of guys in there. We'll pull and release the liner, get that out of the way. Then I'm going to remove the wear band. I'm going to take the wear band out. And then the next step that we're going to do is we're going to add load bars inside the trailer, usually 4 to 5 maybe. It just keeps the ceiling at the proper height. If we don't do that, it will sag and it will cause issues getting the bottom rail on. After that is all done, I go outside the trailer. I'll drill out all of the sheet rivets, the rivets in the sheets along the bottom rail. I'll chip off all the bottom rail rivets. I'll remove any nuts and bolts that are along with that. Knock off all the post rivets, any of the rivets that are in the way. And then we'll go get a bunch of guys, usually 5 to 6 guys, and we will then pry the bottom rail off and remove the bottom rail. After that is on the ground, we dig the foam. I'll get a pry bar and usually a saw, and I'll dig all the foam from the bottom, and then I'll go inside the trailer and I'll finish off by cleaning the foam off the sheets and all the posts. And the reason we do that is to make sure we have a good surface for when we go back together for bucking everything together. Then I go out and I will inspect the cross members for cracks, any type of damage, bends. It's easier to see them when the bottom rail's off sometimes. The scuff inside, we'll check for bends or cracks, and if we find something, we'll repair it at that time while we have access to it from the inside. And there's a subfloor joiner strip on most trailers that, and again, we'll inspect for damage. We will straighten or repair and put that back together. That part is there to keep water out, makes a good seal so the foam does not get wet. Phase 2, bottom rail installation. We get the bottom rail staged up onto stands. We'll put it up on the stand so that we can cut any relief cuts in the bottom rail, and we can cut it to the actual size, the length of it. Then we install mylar tape. Mylar tape is used to prevent corrosion between the aluminum bottom rail and the steel cross members. Then we get 5 to 6 guys and we install the bottom rail onto the trailers. And we will temporarily clamp the bottom rail up into place with clamp vice grips. And then we will check the trailer, make sure that it's good front to back as far as the length. Mark out the bottom rail bolt locations for the rivet locations. We will preset bolts in usually about each cross member depending on the trailer to reassure that all the cross members are level and tight. We'll adjust the height of the ceiling. Sometimes after taking the bottom rail out, the ceiling will need to go up or down depending, so we can adjust that with the load bars that we installed. When we're assured that the trailer is level and the height is set for the panels, we'll jump to marking out the posts. So we mark the post out by finding center of the post, which are on the sheet. So we'll come straight down from that, mark all them out. We'll drill all the holes for the sheets. We will go inside, we'll get a guy inside, a bucker, and we'll buck all the rivets on the sheets and on the post. And then the bottom rail, we have a tool, a squeezer, if it's rivets. Or some trailers use nuts, they use bolts, usually stainless steel hardware, so if it has that, we'll put the appropriate hardware in. After all the rivets are squeezed or the nuts and bolts are tight, we go inside and we prep for the foaming of the trailer. We'll put down usually paper down to assure that we do not get foam onto your floor to keep it nice and clean. After we foam the trailer using our big foam tanks, we will then shave all the foam down to a nice flat, even surface for the liner fitment. Phase 3, I would go into the trailer, I would lay out the liner and the wear band, and I'd scrape all the foam off of this. The reason we scrape all the foam off is to get a nice flat surface to stick to. And it'll also leave a nice, better finished product. It'll be flat. We would install the wear band first. To install the liner, it takes 8 to 10 guys, so we'll get all guys in there. We'll get into the liner, and we'd roll the liner up over top of ourselves. We'd then work as a team, and we would drop the liner down into the wear band or scuff, down to certain lines that we made previously. We would then roll the liner up to about around halfway or so, and we'd get out from underneath of the liner and we get on our ladders, and then we have to roll the top of the liner in towards the scuff to tuck it up into place. We would then roll the complete liner to make sure all the glue is attached. Install the closure strips. On some trailers there's E-track. Install the E-track if it's necessary. Then blow the trailer out, make sure it's clean, and we'd run a fresh bead of caulk across the whole perimeter of everything that we had apart to assure no leaks when we wash trailers out. Phase 4, inspection and testing. In this phase, we would install any necessary wiring that we removed to do the job. Sometimes there's bottom rail light wires that we took out, lights that we removed. We would replace, we'll make sure everything works, that everything is tucked up properly and attached. We'd also double check any of the bottom rail rivets or the bolts, any of the hardware, any of the pop rivets which were installed inside to make sure everything is either bucked properly or bolted tight, to just reassure a tight seal and a quality job. I'm Sam Lewis, and this is how we install a bottom rail.